The creative minds that brought Steven Universe to life wanted Fusion to become one of the more memorable aspects of the show.
Are you guys going to become a gem fusion? Ah! Ah!
And I think it's safe to say that they definitely accomplished that.
Ah!
But wait! There's more!
Opal?
I mean, there are plenty of fans who fell in love with the show because of the addition of Fusion alone. But the brutally honest truth is that this glamorization of Fusion by the writers would only serve to minimize the concept in the long run instead of, actually helping to improve it. Besides Garnet for obvious reasons, Sugilite and Opal were the very first fusions that we would be introduced to all the way back at the beginning of season 1.
Great it feels to be me.
And after their admittedly really well done and just flat out awesome debut episodes,
all you wanna do is see me turn into
A giant woman.
we tragically never get the chance to hear either of these two magnificent fusions speak on the show ever again.
You what?
Except for when Amethyst and Pearl would choose to form Opal during the Steven Universe movies. Oh, and Opal's voice actress did actually return to breathe out once during the season 2 finale. Huh? No, I'm not kidding. Do you think she got paid for that? Something that's definitely worth keeping in mind before we get into the heart of this discussion is that fans have been arguing for over a decade that the reason for why there was such a tiny amount of Opal appearances on the show was because of the fact that Amethyst and Pearl wasn't exactly shown to be able to always get along with each other.
And you! Using your gem powers on humans! It's not enough that you're on my case all the time, you have to ruin this for me too!
Now, while this line of reasoning might seem to make a ton of sense at first glance, I mean, the season 1 episode that introduced Opal in the first place, being Giant Woman, made sure to focus on showing us just how hard it was for Steven to get Amethyst and Pearl to put their differences aside for even a second in order for them to save their own lives. But this extremely common excuse, while based in some truth, ignores the massive amount of character development that Amethyst and Pearl would go through together over the course of the show after this episode.
Amethyst! Amethyst! Amethyst!
Seriously, I mean, are we just going to ignore how well these two would be shown to be getting along by the end of season 2 alone?
But we might want to be a bit more careful. Gotcha. Shall we?
Same thing goes for our Wrecking Ball Queen. Well, not exactly, because this excuse somehow gets even weaker when it comes to trying to use it to explain away the blatant lack of Sugilite.
That's the plan. Where should I start?
Do that one!
Steven, I think we should go.
I'm not sure if you remember this, but Garnet and Amethyst's relationship wasn't ever toxic, even if Sugilite would be portrayed as being one of the more unstable fusions.
Listen to me. You've been fused for too long. You're losing yourselves.
This is all very nice, but it doesn't solve the mystery.
Here's the unfiltered truth. Sugilite and Opal wouldn't speak outside of their debut episodes because the Crewniverse, also known as the creative minds behind the show, thought that it'd be a great idea to hire professional singers and artists who were known in the industry to be incredibly high profile and ridiculously expensive to voice their fusions for literally no reason other than the fact that they wanted to.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I mean, I wish that I was joking, but this is all true. The voice actress for Opal being Amy Mann and Sugilite being freaking Nicki Minaj were naturally extremely busy when Steven Universe was airing, which led to the Crewniverse being forced to find other unique ways to work around their schedules by either including the fusions anyway for short periods of time while keeping them distractingly silent,
I can't hear you!
or worse, by writing around this problem by not including them into the episode at all.
For decades, Grammy-winning rock star Amy Mann has had a knack for making the world listen.
That looks great.
Let's take a break.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
This, along with the fact that the network apparently wouldn't be able to afford Amy Mann or Nicki Minaj during the few occasions when they weren't busy. And you, my friend, have the actual answer as to why there weren't more appearances from two of the most iconic fusions on the entire show.
I call this segment
You like that, little man?
because everybody loves a callback.
But wait! There's more!
She's not actually in this episode. Do we still have to pay her? Yes? Fair enough.
The Cruniverse going out of their way to hire a bunch of high-profile artists to voice their characters didn't even stop at fusions.
From the sky, a sound. A song?
Yeah, I mean, there was a really compelling fan theory that made the argument for the Corruption song being an actual fully fledged song with lyrics and stuff.
We are the Christogens. We are.
Which would make sense when you consider the fact that Rebecca Sugar and the Cruniverse went out of their way to hire the legendary Patti LuPone to voice Yellow Diamond.
I did meet her after her opening night party, and the only thing that Madonna has ever said to me was, "I'm taller than you."
Someone who was already a very well-established actor and singer in the space, who was best known for her phenomenal work on a couple of musicals, which means that she probably wasn't cheap.
We're not going back to the same economy. This will be a different economy.
Yellow Diamond was actually voiced by the extremely well-known and highly accomplished Broadway star Patti LuPone.
Good. We'll finally get some use out of that miserable planet.
And I think that the only reason why we were able to get as much Yellow Diamond as we did was because of the fact that Patti actually seemed to have cared about the show.
That will be all.
Steven Universe gave Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersole, the voice actress for White Diamond, the chance to work together again after a year of being apart since the success of a previous musical project that released in 2017 called Warpaint. When you really think about it, the craziest part about this entire situation is that Steven Universe was almost definitely planned to have been a very different show, as in the version of the show that we got clearly wasn't supposed to exist as it is at all. If Sugilite had a more low-key voice actress, then the writers would have been able to explore more of her themes of strength and instability instead of literally being forced to explore those themes without relying on Sugilite.
Pink. There you are.
Same thing goes for Opal. I mean, imagine if we had an opportunity to see Amethyst and Pearl find common ground and grow as people while forming Opal to become even better friends, similarly to how Smokey Quartz was handled when it came to showing the progression of Amethyst and Steven's relationship. Despite all of these issues, Fusion would still manage to become one of the most memorable aspects of Steven Universe, but that wasn't the byproduct that came from Fusions being voiced by a group of famous talent. It's because of what the appearances of a Fusion meant to us all.